What's up, guys? Today I'm covering 3 fat loss myths that you need to know about cardio. Let's get right into it. Number 1, you cannot outwork a bad diet. And you probably heard this before in YouTube videos, reels, whatever, right? What exactly does this mean? This means that if you have a 2000 calorie limit for a day and you go over it by 1000, the last thing that you want to do is start doing random hit cardio sessions or going on a walk or running with the sole purpose of trying to burn off the extra calories that you consumed. Or another scenario, which is what a lot of people do, is being stuck in the mindset that I'm not gonna change my diet, I'm gonna continue eating what I'm eating, I'm just gonna become more active. Why? Because you simply don't want to change your eating choices, and that's just another rabbit hole that you don't want to get into. Why is that? Because the amount of calories that you're gonna burn from doing cardio, hit sessions, walking, all of that, it is measly a little tiny amount compared to the large amount of calories that you can consume in 10 minutes. Even a whole hour's worth of cardio, if you're really, really good at burning calories, even if you've been training cardio for years, the best calorie burners, they burn max 400, maybe 500 calories in an hour. And that's the top 1%. So imagine yourself. You're going to be burning max 300 calories. 300 calories, which is literally something that you can consume in less than a minute. You take one bite of this, sip of that, and that's already 300, 400, 500 calories. You're never going to outwork a bad diet. Um, Number 2, if the scale does not go down, you need to change something up. Most of the time. Now, what do I say most of the time? Well, because a lot of times we make the mistake of thinking that, oh, I ate healthy all day, I did this, XYZ, the scale did not go down, then this must mean that I'm probably just building muscle, which is the reason why I'm still at the same weight. And that is a big mistake. Why do I say that this is a big mistake? And what do I say most of the time? Well, because that is not always 100% true, right? Like, the reason why I give that example is because that's the excuse that most people give. Rather than looking within their diet, their food choices, they try to blame it on that. They're like, well, I'm also hitting the gym, I'm doing cardio at the same time, so I'm probably just replacing that fat with muscle. However, that is very, very specific, right? Most of the time, whether you're a beginner or an advanced lifter, muscle growth is a very, very, very slow process compared to fat loss. You can lose fat 3 times as fast as you can build muscle. And that goes for everybody. Doesn't matter if you're an enhanced lifter or natural lifter, but specifically for my natural lifters. And the reason why I say most of the time is because there are times where maybe if you're a complete beginner or maybe you're in a recomposition phase, like let's say you're an advanced lifter, you injured yourself, you're getting back in the gym, it can happen that your fat loss, if your fat loss is very, very slow and it's on par with your muscle putting on process, then yeah, you can technically replace that fat loss with muscle and you are technically going to be around that same weight. However, if you're looking to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds of fat, you're not going to replace 30, 40 pounds of fat with 30, 40 pounds of muscle within 6 months, assuming you're a natural lifter. Meaning that if your goal is primarily focusing on losing weight, which is what I would recommend, unless you're a complete beginner or you're maintaining, right? I would not recommend focusing on both building muscle and losing fat. You can do that. However, you should always focus more on one over the other. Meaning that if your main goal is to lose weight, because this video is about losing weight, if the scale is not going down, you need to change something up. Either burn more calories or consume less calories throughout the day. And number 3, focusing too much on cardio. Cardio is not the primary focus when it comes to losing weight. At the end of the day, calories in, calories out is what matters most. It is what determines if you're going to lose weight. If at the end of the day, or next day, or next week, your weight is less than the last time, it's gonna be that, right? Calories in, calories out. That is true. And the 2 main ways that you can create that caloric deficit to make sure that you're burning more calories than you are consuming is either by moving more, doing more cardio, or consuming less. However, like I said, going back to the same point, you can only burn so many calories in a day. Most of the calories that you're gonna burn, they're always going to be just your BMR, just the calories that your body burns by sitting still, speaking, getting up out of bed, going, grabbing a glass of water, non-exercise things, which makes you think you can't really increase the amount of calories that you're gonna burn throughout a day significantly. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you should completely cut out cardio out of your life. Like, I think that's the reason why a lot of people get so confused. They're like, oh, well, this person says cardio is good, this person says cardio is bad. I'm not saying that cardio is bad, I'm saying that you shouldn't completely focus on it. Because that's the thing, I feel like we've created the idea that cardio is, the sole purpose of cardio is just to lose weight. But no, cardio has so many other benefits. Cardiovascular benefits, health-wise benefits, long-term longevity benefits. The more that you walk, literally just taking 5, 6, 7, preferably 10,000 steps per day, is going to be so beneficial, not necessarily to lose weight, but just overall longevity. But going back to the main point is that you shouldn't focus on cardio. Use cardio as a tool, but it is not the be all end all. Going back to that same point number 1, right? You're not going to outwork a bad diet. It's not going to happen. And that is what I mean when I say that cardio is not the primary focus. You want to use it as a tool, not as a way of saying, oh, I'm going to do cardio before my meal today so that way I can eat a little bit more. Or the other way around. Oh, I ate too much during my first or second meal or during dinner, so I'm gonna go hit the gym, try to burn this off. No, don't see it like that. See cardio as a tool that's helping your body burn those extra 200, 300 calories that are gonna stack up after you already made the good food choices. But don't see it as, I'm gonna make a bad food choice, so I'm gonna use cardio to make up for that, if that makes sense. So don't see it as a be all end all, see it as a tool, and follow all these fitness tips and you will see the results. But focus on that caloric deficit first, and then cardio after. If you would like to apply for a 15-minute fitness consultation with me for free, there's a link in the description below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.